Okay, welcome. Here is a little lesson on how to draw hair. And just follow along. Now, let's talk about the wrong way to do hair. First of all, wrong way to do a face is to draw it like an emoji. And then you're going to make it worse by going, oh, okay, hair. By doing a bunch of lines like that. Or, oh my god, curly hair. Okay, nobody's hair looks like that. This is really bad. Okay, so trying to draw hair line by line like that, that's the wrong way to go. That's why there's an X right there. Trying to draw it like this is much better, and I will tell you the steps right now. So step 1, instead of drawing hair line by line, instead you turn the locks of hair, you just look at them as shapes and forms. So you draw the shapes and forms. Okay. That way you're drawing pieces of hair, and that's how our hair is. It really forms chunks at a time. They're called locks of hair, okay? Step 2 is going to be to add value. And if you remember, value is just shading and paying attention to darks and lights. So add value, shading, okay? And then step 3 is going to be the actual texture part. And that's the problem with this approach is people go for those line by lines. They go for the texture right away. The texture is the thing that has to come last, okay? So, I could start with this side. I think this side's a little easier. So step 1 was drawing the shape and the form. So I'm taking a look at this lock of hair and I'm going to draw it as basically a shape. And that's easy. That's easy enough to do. You guys can do this. I'm going to look at the shape and form, the lines, how they curve. Okay, how some of this shape kind of gets skinnier and some of it gets wider. And for the sake of not boring you and taking all day long to do this, I'm going to say that's pretty good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at the light and darks, the value, and I'm going to start to add my shading in. Okay, very lightly. What you never want to do is color in hair like that or shade it in like that, creating zigzags. Our hair does not zig and zag. Okay, that's unless you have really, really damaged hair, which none of you have. Our hair does not zig and zag. Okay. Paying attention to what's darker and what's lighter. I see a little bit of highlights over here, a little bit more darkness around the edges. For the sake of trying to make this go a little faster, I'm actually going to use my graphite. Okay, but you can use a pencil. I'm just going to go a little faster just so I don't bore you. In fact, if you want to skip ahead on this video to the parts that are to the next part where it's shaded in, that's fine. I'm just going to continue doing it on here. Okay, and I'm not going to shade it in totally fully. I'm going to shade most of it in because what's cool is that when you go to add texture, it also helps to add a little more shading as you're going along. So when you add texture, it adds a little bit more shading. So I'm just going to, that's good for now. There you go. Alright, and remember, I'm going quickly because I don't want to bore you on this video. Okay, last thing. Take a nice sharp pencil. Okay. And this is where we can go in and get some of those fine lines of the texture. There you go. You see those lines in there, those strands? Okay, now that's what we can do. So, remember, I'm not zigging, I'm not zagging. Creating those hatches that we did a long time ago. You guys learned about hatching, okay? And that super sharp, fine pencil tip is going to help create those really fine lines of hair. And I'm paying attention to the directions of the line, how they curve in and out and around. Okay, and that's going to be good for now. I am not done with this, but you've seen the steps on how to do this. Okay, so start with drawing the lock of hair with its shape and form. Okay, then continue to the next step, which is to add shading, add value, and then the last step is to add texture. Okay, take your time, and you can do much better than me because I'm rushing because I don't want to bore you. Okay, that's it. Good luck. Have fun. Oh, and do both sides of this thing.